It's still raining, it's cruddy, it's November 1st, it's a brand new month. It's the beginning, it's the first day of the rest of our lives, eh buddy? That's right. Okay, so I had this really audacious plan. And the plan was to run a video a day, every day in November. Now, I think I could do it, but there's gonna be a lot of other things, a lot of obstacles. This is one. Just taking care of him is gonna take a lot of time. And secondly, my wife is an author of reasonable renown and is about to, she's almost finished her other book. And I wanna make sure that her book is as awesome as it possibly can be. And so I'm going to try and make as many videos as I can. But the only hedge I'm going to give is if I have to take care of him, or I've got to do the things I need to do outside of this, then there may be days where I don't do this. But here's what I'm going to try and do. I want to put out a video every other day. Let's say 4 videos a week. I want to put out 4 videos a week for the month of November. If I can do that, I'll call it a success. Now, these videos, they're going to be a little bit vloggy, they're going to be a little bit diary-like, but they're also going to be about various trivia-based things. They're going to be about all kinds of stuff, and I just want to make sure that we can get through this together. There's been a whole bunch of changes. There's going to be a whole bunch more changes. The big news is that since the beginning of the lockdown times, I've been running a variation on what used to be Trivia NYC called Team Think Fast. Now, I chose the name Think Fast because it's partly a trivia-based thing, Think Fast, and it's also it melded the two things that I was really interested in as like a hobby slash thing I wanted to talk about and share slash community building thing. One was trivia and the other was running. And on this November 1st, the day that I should be right now recovering from having just finished the New York City Marathon for the 4th time, it really is one of my favorite accomplishments. It's one of the best things I've ever done. I've got a list of things that I will remember having done and be proud of for the rest of my life, and running a New York City Marathon is definitely one. But I figured think fast. One thing I've noticed is that there are a lot of runners who do trivia and a lot of quizzers who are really into running, and I feel like there's a big crossover between those two, and certainly that has borne itself out. But I don't think Think Fast is the right name. It's not quite the right thing. I think the more important thing, and the thing that isn't going to keep us from expanding further, is the idea of togetherness and the idea of being together, the idea of working together to achieve a common goal. And I think that especially given the year we've had, given the election cycle we've had, given everything else, I think it's really important that we emphasize how important it is for us to do this together, to work together, to make together happen. So, to that end, as of today, we are now the Union of Quizzers, the International Union of Quizzers. There's, it means we can start talking about things, on a more global sense, and at least have a global scope to what we do. It's about the idea of working together. It's the idea of being kind and staying curious and making sure that we do everything we possibly can to make sure that being smart and being aware of the world around you involves working with people. It doesn't mean standing above them and saying, hey, I'm smarter than all you nerds. That's stupid and self-defeating. So I'm as competitive as anybody else. You've seen me on TV. I'm as competitive as anybody else. But I think it's really important that we all work together. And I know a name doesn't really mean anything. This has about all the relevancy of a John Lennon song, and certainly I'm aware of the importance of trivia. Literally the definition of trivia is random facts that don't matter. I'm aware that we're not changing the world. I'm not healing the sick or feeding the poor, but I feel like there's a lot of brain power, and I would very much like to be a part of harnessing some of that brain power in my little corner of the world to maybe do something better than what we're doing. Instead of sitting around and stewing in our quarantines talking about how awful everything is, I'd rather say, hey, A, let's keep ourselves mentally nimble, and B, let's make sure we're okay. Let's make sure that we can do the things we can do, and we've done as much as we can. I don't mind doing the work. I really don't. And this is the work. I've worked really hard to build a bit of a community online, and I think I've had some success. I've never had more success. I've never had more fun doing trivia than I have this year. As stressful as it's been, especially, with the uncertainty of my life and my job, and with, this thing. Yeah, I've never had more fun. Because it's been, what's happened is the streaming games and the idle wordplay and the back and forth between the people we know it's caused so much, it's been stripped down to its bare essence, which is just bad ideas back and forth. That's all these things ever are. And at its best, that's the Platonic ideal of what trivia should be. You're batting ideas back and forth. You're making ideas happen. It's lovely. It's elegant. And, that was the idea of thinking fast. And honestly, the togetherness is what matters. The togetherness is the point. And so there is nothing that would please me more than to turn this little nascent community that we put together into a bit of a coalition. So to that end, I present to you the International Union of Quizzers. Long may we wave. Sorry, I just wrong piped some saliva. I'm not dying. A group dedicated to harnessing our considerable mental power to try and just do something. We don't have to solve all the problems of the world. If you've ever been to a Mensa meeting, and statistically 2% of you have, they don't do anything. You can get crippled by biting off too big a piece of the pie, but to do something and to keep ourselves, to keep our spirits high and to keep our strength, there, to be a coherent help among all of this, I think is really helpful. I think it's really crucial, and if we can do that, then that's great. So that's that. I don't know. I think we're doing okay. I am allowing myself a certain amount of optimism for Tuesday, and I just really hope that we're going to give ourselves as a nation, as a species, the opportunity to get past this, and to be able to start building out of the wreckage that has been built out of this. It's going to require a lot, but we're going to be able to make it. I have a lot of faith that we're going to be able to make it. Thanks for at least paying attention, and thanks for listening this far into the video.